right, let's do this. Yeah, good evening, everyone. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, thanks again for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys checking us out every tonight. We have market updates coming up. Again, great numbers if you already have properties. So we're super excited about some of these numbers, and we'll also extract that data and kind of give you how it applies to us and how it applies to you. That's super exciting for us. Couple things, just want to make some announcements. Always, we have our grand opening at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center on June 17th. You can go to the website, reictx.com, realestateinvestmentcentertexas.com, reictx.com, and go ahead and sign up for the grand opening. It's $10. There's going to be food, there's going to be beer, there's going to be soda, there's going to be some raffles. So, and you get to tour the building. You're going to meet a lot of people. Great networking time. So we're expecting 250 people. We'd love to have you there. So make sure you guys go ahead and sign up as soon as possible. All right, well, let's get right into it. So the market numbers came back from HAR, because they don't like to be called a HAR. It's HAR, AROC. And I will give you just some, just the updates, just sort of right off their report. So total property sales went from last year, about 7,800. Remember where we were last year. It's always, we really have to put time in context these days because, a lot of people I'm talking to have already forgotten that there was a massive pandemic and people were locked in their houses and we were, we're running around in desperate need of toilet paper that we bought, a garage worth, right? We totally forgot about that. And it's just sort of back to normal. But there was some serious things happen last year. So May 2020, I think we were probably in the height of it, right? It was definitely the height of it. Easter had passed. We had thought, hey, this could be like a month or so. We were really getting into month 2, going into month 3, and we were understanding how serious it was. Northeast was just flooded with cases and deaths, and it was horrific, right? And all the stuff on TV. So our sales over there should be noticeably up, right? But it's up by 55%, 7,800 in 2020 for May, and then in 2021 for May, 12,100. So great year, but the dollar volume is massive. So there was $2.1 billion, $2.2 billion last year in May of 2020, and there was $4.4 billion in transactions this past month. That's insane. $4 billion, right? That's just crazy. We could have a $50 billion year. And here's the crazy thing, right? We did that $4 billion on lower listings. Here's the big one. The average, well, let's do the medium first, right? Because the medium is the middle, right? Medium is the middle. So it's because on the average of the $1 million homes, the River Oaks and stuff, that'll skew the numbers. But the medium home price in Houston, the greater Houston area, is now $304,000. Right? When I came to this market, and one of the great things about coming to this market was the fact that the U.S. medium household average of $60,000 a year, you could actually afford a house or townhouse in Houston, Texas, if you and a spouse were making roughly, the medium, $60,000, $70,000 a year, you were able to get a mortgage. We are long past those days. Right? So what does that mean? Well, now there's a whole new category of people who need to rent that weren't renting 3 to 4 years ago. Like, I just want you to understand, right? You can kind of look at the trends. The annual household income data for United States hovered around 60, 65 for a good period of time. And if you made just the average in Houston, well, you could qualify for a mortgage. You could absolutely qualify for a mortgage. Now, again, you're not going to get a $400,000 house or $700,000 house in the Heights, but you were going to get a nice $195,000 townhouse that went up somewhere, maybe out in Cypress, up the 290 corridor, right? You're going to find something really nice, or maybe Richmond, Rosenberg, you'd get something really nice. You get a single family with a big yard for like $170,000 in those developments. And Katy, right? Back 3 years ago in Katy, you could have bought a really nice, just standard Houston house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, brick house on slab with a 5,000 to 7,000 square foot lot, which means you have a backyard. You were easily picking those up for $150,000 to $180,000. Everyone was happy. Those are gone now. So what have we created now? We have created a new class of renters. You have a new class of renters now, not because they're millennials and they're interested in kind of hanging loose and we want the commune house and all our wool caps. No. You are going to have a whole working class world that is just not going to be able to afford a house where they could have. They had a $18, $20 an hour job at Costco, and maybe their wife was a teacher, and wow, we're great. We're at $80,000. We're all very, very good. We can afford a house in Katy. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now, if you own property, if you had listened to us for the last 3 years, you're doing great. You're doing really, really well. If you didn't, well, it's not too late. I'm going to show you the year over year and, more importantly, the month over month numbers when we come back from our break. But I think the big takeaway here is when you looked at the median income and thought, hey, those people can afford a house in Katy. Katy's got a good school district. Now taxes are going to be high. Yeah, we get it. Totally get it, right? But they were going to be able to buy a 169 3-bed, 2-bath, brick front, 2-car garage in Katy. They were absolutely going to be able to buy that. That was not going to be a problem. Now, if they're hovering around a household income of between 60 and 70, they may not qualify for the $249 starter home or the $300,000 starter home. So we've created a new class here in Houston of working class and working professionals who can't afford a house now but can rent. And we're not talking about hipsters and millennials. We're talking about folks that, drive a truck to work and get on a forklift or teach school or something along those lines where they're just not going to quite make it. In order to get there, they're going to need a big bump from their parents or someone outside and get a gift and, for the down payment, come up with 20%. It's going to be difficult. We already know. We have people in our office who are already talking about the marketplace as they look at it. So, hey, this is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. Check out our website, mrtxre.com. That's MR as in Mr., TX is in Texas, RE is in realestate.com. And go there and check out our events. We've got a bunch of events coming up, including our grand opening here, so we're very excited about that. My name is Robert, Mr. World-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. We will be back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert again with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, guys, we're super excited. We've seen the market update this today. It came out from HAR. Wow. And so, again, my first big takeaway is that the median household income no longer qualifies for a house in Houston. And that's really big news. That's huge. So 3 years ago when I came to this market, that was brilliant. I mean, again, these were going to be nice little starter homes, 1,100, 1,200 square foot. If you wanted to live sort of on the northwest side of town, you could find a bigger lot, maybe 7, 8, 10,000 square feet. House is going to be a little dated, but still, it's going to be like 160, 150. You're going to get nice place, neighborhood, maybe your Latino community out there, really nice. You can go down to Texas City, and you're picking up beautiful turnkey houses at $120,000. It's easy. Right, because we were looking at deals at $60,000 and $70,000 in Texas City, and the market was 129 to like 149. Then 149 would be like a high-end 4-bedroom, 2-bath, brick front, 2-car garage with updated kitchen. It'd be like really nice. Now, not so much. So what has happened is that working class world, that $60,000 to $80,000 average household income, which is a large part of our population, has now become renters and are going to become discouraged about buying houses. And so if your thought is, well, Rob, then that means there's going to be a lot more houses to buy. No, there simply is no houses in that price category. If you look at the HAR report, you'll see that the houses under $100,000 and under $150,000 are just gone. They're decreasing at massive numbers, meaning there's not enough on the market or they've appraised out of their category. So now we have a renting class, which is very much like all the other major cities. Like Houston was an anomaly. It wasn't the average. I know a lot of folks have got Texas and sort of lower Midwest roots, and maybe they're from Louisiana, maybe they're from Oklahoma, before you kind of landed here. And then there's the transplants like me that came from the Northeast and Southern California, and we're all just kind of enjoying Texas, right? So if you've come from those larger metropolitan areas, Chicago, New York, LA, Seattle, you would be looking at this saying, well, that's okay. The rents are still cheap. If you came from more of a Midwest communities, if you came from Kansas, if you came from Oklahoma, if you came from Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, you're looking at this market saying, wow, it's very expensive. Remember, it's all perspective, right? So there is now a class of renters, of working class people with jobs, with what we would have called 3 years ago good jobs, and they can't afford a house. Now, looking at the actual, so that was the medium house price. Let's look at the average house price. The average house price went up 29.7%. So it's a 37% jump year over year to $387,000. So the average house price, and that is basically a sale through the system here, last month was $387,000. That's the average. And then we said the median again was $304,000. So even still, working class families not affording $304,000. Just not affording it. So you're probably, with taxes, you'd be around $2,000 PITI on a $300,000 house. That's the medium. And it depends. If you're in Katy, if you're in some of these other high tax areas, it could be as high as $2,300. Call it $2,200. And a $60,000 is $5,000 a month. And then after taxes, let's call it $4,200. And then you take roughly 47% of $4,200, which is going to be under $2,000. So when the rough calculations come out, your debt-to-income ratio doesn't work. That's for sure at the $304,000 number. So how do you buy a $304,000 house? You bring more money to the table. Or you save up and you rent in the meantime. So 29.7% year over year. That's insane. Insane. But again, let's keep it in perspective. Last May would have been the scariest month of COVID in my mind. We're seeing all kinds of crazy stuff on the news, and we've got a lot of non-believers out there, and the president's finally wearing a mask, and all this. It's just all this chaos because we had nothing better to do than to watch CNN and Fox and ONA and all this other stuff out there, right? And MSNBC, wherever you lie. And it was all just crazy. Now we're kind of getting back to normal, so we'd expect to see some bumps, but not. I would never have thought we'd see 30% year over year. So you may say, okay, Robert, you just explained it, Robert. You just said it. Why would it be 30% year over year? Of course, it makes sense. So there's nothing big. We're fine. Everything's going to be good. I'm going to go out there and find a few flips. I'm going to wholesale a few deals. Okay, well, hold on. Here's the biggest thing. This is, to me, was the most insane thing. Month over month, we're up 4.3%. So if you own a medium home in the Houston area, you made $13,000 in appreciation last month. That's crazy. And our houses are, right around the 150. It's really easy to do 150. So we all these little rentals, we're making $6,000 a month last month. Absolutely crazy. Our mastermind, this is going on in our mastermind back channel. We have a back channel on WhatsApp. It's one of the most greatest things about our mastermind. And if you're interested in mastermind, text 281-401-9008, 281-401-9008. Text mastermind and we'll shoot you over some details. Or go to the website, mrtxre.com. MR is in Mr. TX is in Texas. RE is in real estate.com. mrtxre.com. And go check out the mastermind page. But all the folks who've been with us and are buying whenever they can and making sure that every extra penny that they're saving is going to a down payment so they can pick up another house, man, we had one guy, Jeff, last count, he had like 22 single families, right? So 22 single families, the dude made 22, let's just call it average 150, right? He made $132,000 in appreciation last month. That's the absolute craziness. So when we're telling you, like we get in our mastermind, man, we hammer you, get a house, get a house, get a house. I got some folks who bought a house 2 months ago. 2 months ago. And it's a roughly $150,000 house. They would have made $20,000 in appreciation in 60 days. Because month over month from April to May, April to March. Crazy numbers. If you do one thing for your family, if you do one thing for planning for retirement in the next 60 to 90 days, buy a house. Buy a single family where you can find it. Pay retail. Who cares? We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But get yourself a house. This is crazy. 4.3% month over month. That's a bad year. Like 4% year over year is kind of like an average to bad year. 6% is what we're looking for. This is 4%. It's crazy. Guys, this is Robert. I'm with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on podcast or YouTube or on Facebook, or if you listen to us on the radio. We'll be back. Okay, I'm pounding this water, so I got to take a quick little hit. All right, guys, and welcome back. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Man, we're super excited about the market update that just came out today. We are looking at these numbers, and they're just phenomenal for your existing portfolio. So if you have a portfolio out there, I don't care if it's just one extra house, right? You have a portfolio, you're doing great. Now, it's not too late. We want to get you in there as quickly as possible. Will there be 30% year over year this time next year? Probably not. Probably not. Will there be double digit? Yes. Absolutely. I think if we're at about 11 to 12%, that's kind of where I would predict we would be, which would mean a 2-year, year over year, 40%. Remember what our plan is. Remember what we teach. Remember what we harp on. Remember what we pound into the mastermind members' heads. Get your 10 houses as quickly as possible. If you can do them on a 15-year mortgage, do them on a 15-year mortgage. Why would you do that? Well, it's going to pay down a little bit quicker. And on top of that, you don't need the cash flow. Hey, I don't need the extra income. I don't need to be taxed on it. I'll just take the depreciation. I'll take all the tax breaks I can get versus against my W-2 or my 1099. And I'm going to do a 15-year mortgage. Great. Remember, that's going to pay it down about 10% quicker. So at the end of that 5 years, if you put 20% down, you'll have another 10% pay down off the mortgage. And in the next, if you started a year ago, you should easily have 60% equity. So you're talking about almost doubled your price. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to sell one house retail and pay off two, right? That's Blake Yarborough's little strategy, right? If you do a 15-year mortgage and you ride this wave, right, what's happening right now, holy cow. If you realistically get 60% in 3 to 5 years, because I think 40% is absolutely a reality if we're talking May of 2020 to May 2022. I think we'll see that 40%. And then if we're just go back to average, for 2 more years, because it's cumulative, you'll be over 60% equity based on market value. On top of having paid off 10% because it's a shorter term mortgage, on top of putting 20% down. You're going to be dang close to 100% equity in these properties. Right? So you can sell one and pay off 2 more. And then all of a sudden you have a 6-house free and clear portfolio. It's going to produce, based on these numbers, about $9,000 a month in rent, even after taxes and insurance and property management. And you're going to be sitting on top of $1.6 million in assets. I mean, I know everyone we talk to at all these events, they want to go out, I want 100 doors. I totally get it. Yep. You go ahead. Your big goals, right? Get your big, hairy, audacious goals. Got it. That's good. But if you're an engineer and you're listening to me, you know that's nonsense. And what the reality is that you can buy 10 houses over the next 3 to 4 years and ride them and pay it off. And by the time you're 60, you're sitting on another $1.2 million worth of assets, throwing off close to $10,000 a month. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking about the hustler out there. I'm going to hustle. No. I need you to stay in your day job. Right? I need you to stay at Halliburton, stay at Exxon, stay at BP, stay at Chevron, wherever you're working. ConocoPhillips, I need you to stay there. Working at the hospital, I need you to stay there. I need you to stay there for the next 5 to 6 years and ride this. And ride it. So if we're looking at some massive appreciation gains year over year. So if you were buying like we decided probably right around April to get in and buy. We did. So our portfolio was hanging out around $25 million, $25 million last year. So we're seeing 30% year over year, but that's single family. So let's just cut it all the way down to 10%. That means our portfolio made $2.5 million. Now, here's the crazy thing. We just started a new fund. It's the Texas Real Estate Appreciation Fund. Guess what? We started it at the right time, didn't we? And it's for accredited investors only. And there's a B share at $50,000. There's an A share at $100,000. Right? So minimum interest investments $50,000 or $100,000. There's double preferred returns on this. So let me explain what that means. So, and let's just take the $50,000. At the $50,000 level, there's a 7% interest preferred payment, meaning we're going to pay you 7% on your money every quarter starting in 6 months. Now, the first 6 months will be in the rear, so we'll get caught up over the next year, but we're going to pay it all. We need 6 months to kind of get everything stabilized. But you're going to make 7% on that. Now, the second preferred, the way we've written it, is at the end of it all, you're going to get 10% of the profit off these properties. And you get paid. It's expenses, investor, and then us. Me, Jason, Brian. Me, Jason, Brian, and another partner. I won't mention his name. I'm not sure he wants to be mentioned. So you'll get paid before us. We'll make sure that you're going to get your payment. So you get 2 preferred payments. And we're super excited about it. Now, again, if you came out at the $100,000 level, you have a preferred 8%. Okay? And that's paid quarterly starting in month 6. Again, we need a little time to get caught up. Get these things stabilized, get it cash flowing. And then there's a 14% preferred profit split. So again, on all the money, we're going to pay the expenses, and then we're going to pay you, and then we pay us. And that's based on refis, on appraisals, and that's based on sales. So, just looking at that fund, we just started the fund. We just started it, I don't know, almost days ago. Really days. But we started buying for the fund a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So right now, inside the fund, we have closed on about $1 million worth of property, and we have $1.9 million in property that's in escrow, waiting to close on. We have close to $3 million in that fund. And since all of them sort of went under contract in April or before, we that $3 million fund, based on the numbers that HAR is reporting, is already up 6%. It's made $180,000, and we've been open for a couple days. You want more details on that? Text FUND, F-U-N-D, FUND to 281-401-9008. Again, it's for accredited investors only. If you don't know what a accredited investor is, accredited investor is one that has an individual income of $200,000, a household income of $300,000, or net worth of $1 million, not including their homestead, which is their personal residence. Again, we're not saying that this is going to project out all 60 months of this is going to run this way. Nope. But we can just look back on the properties already closed on and under contract, and we already have a nice little bump, is the best way to say it. And if you'd like to see more details, I want to make sure you just text FUND to 281-401-9008. And you get to talk to Brian or Jamie. Jamie's our new investor liaison, so we said we were going to make sure we get someone in here this year, and we did. She's awesome. She'll be happy to answer any questions. It's on our page already. All the details are up there, so you can guys get a view at it. Again, text FUND to 281-401-9008. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert with world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, thanks for joining us again tonight. We certainly appreciate you guys listening to us on the radio. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, thank you. Likes, love, shares, subscribe. Hit all the buttons you can possibly hit, please. Please, just hit all the buttons you can possibly hit. That'd be awesome. Or if you're listening on the podcast, it's kind of creepy that I'm in your ear right now. But here I am, right in the middle of your head. We're talking about the market report that came out today for the Houston area, and the numbers are fantastic. Slightly less in Nueces County, where we are investing down in Corpus, but still very, very strong. And one of the things that, again, I looked at about 10 days ago, I looked at the Nueces County average median home price, and it's $250. It's up massively year over year. $250. Again, now we've started price. If you look at the median income for Nueces County, you're going to see that number is very low too. So we've created a whole new class. There was already housing shortage for lower income folks that were on housing assistance. There simply wasn't enough houses. We put in a Section 8 up there. It goes in hours. Hours. And we're seeing that here too. So again, we think now Texas is sort of joining the Houston and Corpus. We're seeing it push up those rental rates, and the price of the houses are pushed up. I mean, Dallas is kind of probably 3 to 4 years ahead of us on the number-wise. But here's the rent for Houston. This is crazy. The average monthly rent for May last year was $2,025. That's an all-time high. It's an all-time high. It's up $200 year over year. 11% year over year. Absolutely crazy. 2,000. That's going to be your 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So Section 8 is going to adjust. They're going to go to the market rates. They're going to bump up their 5%, 4%, 6%, wherever it is. If you're sitting on rentals, things are looking good. Right? Just be a good landlord. Take care of the property. Be fair to the tenant. Notice I didn't say nice. Be fair to the tenant. Right? You have to fulfill your end of the contract, and you expect them to fulfill their end of the contract. But guys, if you're holding properties now, wow, this is absolutely great. So the market's gone up. We've had a meeting with our property manager this morning. We're seeing a lot more activity out there. So rents are becoming hard to find. Anything under those magic numbers, right? The 1,500 magic, anything under 1,000, you were talking about what? A studio, barely. And 2,000 is sort of the average family household, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Remember, that's the average. So we've got rents in this town that are $2,500, $2,800, $3,000. I saw Chris jump on a house down, Chris Hopper, I saw him jump on a house down at Sugar Land, and I'm like, I wonder what he knows what the rents are going to be on that property. Because he's a rent, hold, and then buy. He's doing the same strategy as the mastermind. So rents are up. Rents are up. Remember, we said there's not a natural progression. There's not a straight slope up. It's steps. Well, we just hit one of those steps, and it's an 11% step. Again, if you're looking at your calculators, we typically use like 3.5%, sometimes 5%, depending on where the property is located, as a rent escalator. So if you're doing a 3.5%, that's a 3-year average. If you're doing 5 and you're at 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years, right? But they're there. Now, again, what does the next 12 months look like? Robert, what are you thinking that 12 to 18 months? I think it looks kind of like it is now. And here's why. There's only 20,000 houses under construction, 20,000 doors under construction in the Houston area. There's only 20,000. Well, that sounds like a lot. It's not. It's not. If 20,000 were immediately open and available, let's say 60% of them are single family. Okay? So that's 12,000. If you added 12,000 new home sales to the market, and again, developers are not stupid. They're not developing $150,000 houses. They're looking at the same report that I'm looking at and that my mastermind folks are looking at and going gaga over, and they're saying, whoa, I can now price my house at $390. Right? That whole rain thing that pushed me back 2 weeks, that's great. I just made another 10 grand. So they're not making low income housing, right? We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about the existing and impeding low income housing crisis that we're about to suffer down here. But anyway, there's only let's call it $12,000. If you threw that into the marketplace, you'd still be under a healthy market at 3.5 months of inventory. We'd barely be at 3. We'd still have a seller's market. And then, of course, they don't magically next month. There's not another $12,000. 12,000 single-family houses. They're not produced like that. It takes good home builders probably 78 to 85 days in and out of a property. So we have a problem. We have a housing situation here. And if you're a landlord, or if you're thinking about being a landlord, or if you're thinking about joining a mastermind, let me plug that, you're in a good position. And so because of the housing starts here in this market, because of what we've seen in this last report, I think there's at least 12, maybe 18 months of, again, this hyper appreciation, hyper numbers. Inflation's not going to help either, right? It's going to go up and up. It's just absolutely bonkers for the next 18 months. Now, I know Jason's like to say 2 to 4 years, and I think the numbers are still going to go up, and it's all going to be good for the next 4 to 5 years. But I think you've got 18 to 24 months to really get in. If you're sitting on this, I talked to so many people that, hey, I'm interested in the mastermind. I think I want to do this. Hey, man, there's no more thinking. There's only time for doing. Right? Because the mastermind folks that bought in April at $180,000 made $7,200 this month in appreciation, 4.3%. You can't ignore that appreciation number. I know, oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I get caught in these little conversations about cash flow. I'm like, who cares? It's nothing. It's the appreciation that's going insane. Yes, we want cash flow. Yes, we like $250 or better a door. Yep. But man, the appreciation. Whoa. I will absolutely take 30% of 15,000, right? I'll take $45,000 worth of appreciation over $250 a month cash flow any day of the week. Even if I only did 10% of that 150, I'm at 15,000 over 3,000. So listen, get in here, join the mastermind, 281-401-9008, text mastermind. This is Robert. We're going to be back in a short little session, and then we're done for the night. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Let's tell them I went over. Oh, good. Insane.